Dude, no, it's not. You're not dead. That's not the theme. It's death touched. You just interacted with dead people. I'm doing this one alone, I guess. Hi everyone, welcome to GameGorgon. My name is Krug.
And I'm Indigo.
Oh. Today we're here to talk to you about themes in Starfinder. I was gonna say second edition. Ooh man, this is gonna be hard. Okay, you can get up now though. He just gets up. Today we have two themes from the Pact worlds. The first of which that we're gonna talk about is the Cyberborn. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a person who's born at a very young age and got implants. And so now they love them a bunch.
Okay.
You're gonna get one int if you're a Cyberborn because computers are smarter than people.
I'm already thinking Rocket Raccoon though.
I'm super down.
Yeah, instead of getting like the pouch, maybe like you know how they've got the pouch inside their jeep, just like better at freaking big guns. First level you're going to get, guess what? Theme knowledge.
Ooh.
You're going to be able to make a engineering check that you're going to reduce the DC by 5 to identify cybernetic augmentations, and you're going to be able to make life science checks to identify, and I'm just going to read this.
Yep.
Recall knowledge about cybernetic augmentation techniques, corporations, other research facilities involved with the production of experiments with cybernetic augmentations by 5.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of very specific stuff, but there's a lot of it, and so I think it kind of balances out.
This is augmentation as a whole.
Yeah. And augmentations, like, it's not necessarily a common thing in game, but it's not an uncommon thing in the game either. It's going to be a part of the game if you want it to be a part of the game. And if it's not, it's really easy for the GM to put in.
Yeah, the only reason why this wouldn't be at least somewhat beneficial is if the GM's like, yo, no augmentations in this game.
Like, we've been comparing a lot of things to Dawn of Flame because it's super isolated as far as the setting is concerned. The very first thing that happens in that game, you would have been able to use these checks because there is a giant whale with cybernetic augmentations.
Computers is going to be a class skill for you, and if it's already class skill, guess what? +1.
At 6th level, you're gonna get Self-Hacker. This is gonna allow you to regain a number of stamina points equal to the level of one of your installed augmentations once per day.
That's I like that idea. Like,
yeah,
it's definitely kind of like a combat-oriented, like 6th level one.
Yeah, it's a full action, so you can use it in combat.
It's not like, oh, you're giving up the energy of one of your augmentations, or you're changing something. It's just like cool.
You're literally optimizing, kind of like tinkering almost.
Yeah,
like making it work as good as it can, or maybe repairing damage to it or something. Or maybe it's like a Fonzie thing where you're just like whack.
As a standard action, you hit your own arm. At 12th level, you're going to get Hardened Systems, which I have to say the names of this so far
all sound like metal band names.
So the DC to hack your augmentations with magical means or technology means is going to increase by 5.
Which is great. To be fair, I've personally never encountered a situation where something has tried to hack my augmentations. But that might just be like the limited scope of my play experience with like my group of friends.
Yeah.
Maybe like there are other GMs that are maybe there are other GMs that just abuse the shit out of this and I just don't know, you know?
Instead of just being boring and doing damage every time, maybe there's someone that's going to attempt to hack their augmentation.
Which is
because that will like add to the...
As a GM, you should be doing that. Doing damage every round is kind of boring.
Well, and the key to it, and I think this is important, is to not pick on the player.
Oh, of course not. No.
But rotate the flavor of what's going on within the game.
If you have somebody that is capable of hacking, that doesn't mean they only hack the augmentation.
Additionally, your cybernetic augmentation is going to give you electricity resistance.
Yes. I don't think this is like giga strong, but it's a really solid medium level. I feel like normally when we have these conversations about themes, we're either like, this is too specific, or this is too weak, or wow, this is great, oh my god, this is so impressive. This is literally, so far in my head, just middle of the road.
I feel that when like a lot of people hear the term middle of the road, they think, oh, it's boring.
Yeah, I don't think it's boring. It's definitely flavorful.
I think it's flavorful. I think it's interesting. I think it fits the theme. That's kind of weird. Like that's like,
this is the sweet spot.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're on the same page about that. I like that this was our sweet spot. At 18th level, you're going to get Master Modder. This leans a little bit on the strong side, in my opinion. You're going to be able to recover a resolve point if you spend 10 minutes kind of like testing and tinkering with your augmentations. after completing a significant task that crucially relied on you using those augmentations. You have an augmentation that makes you stronger and you use it to like lift something big. Like, woo, go you! Let me just make sure that all this didn't break while I was exerting it to its maximum potential, and then resolve point.
I think the key to it is making sure that you're using it because it specifically says a significant.
Yes.
So it's not just like, I flipped over that barrel that was pretty heavy, and so like...
It's like, why don't you go F off?
Yeah, no.
If anyone else in your party could have done it without augmentations, I'd say nah.
Yeah, it would have to be in a situation where it's like, the ship was collapsing and you held up the beam to allow the rest of your party to get up, and then you let go of it. And then you get to spend 10 minutes to do it. You, as the player, get to try to convince your GM why you used your augmentation in a significant way. 2, it's also pushing you to try and use your augmentation in a very specific way. Which is,
I think, awesome. I think that's exactly what they should be doing. Making sure that your character relies on their augmentations, because that is the flavor behind this. You think that augmentations are the way for you to become stronger.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think this works really well to do that. Also, just want to point this out because I didn't say it verbosely. Significant is 100% GM's discretion.
Oh, yeah.
It says in the book.
Yeah.
So, just keep that in mind when you're picking. Maybe if your GM's a dick, just steer clear from this.
What class do you think this fits the best?
I think augmentations are good almost everywhere, right?
Okay.
They aren't hyper optimized for like melee characters. They aren't hyper optimized for intelligence or like dexterity characters. They're just kind of usually good. It's just, do you want to invest the time and the money to get them, or would you rather invest that time and money into like your ship? Or into other kind of equipment that doesn't become a part of you, like weapons and armor. If you are the kind of person that enjoys augmentations, I think this is good across the board.
Sure.
If you would rather have a big gun, it's probably not the thing for you.
Sure. I think with this, I would go operative. Additional bonus to intelligence.
Sure.
The augmentations can help you extremely well in many stealthful different ways.
Yep.
It can help you to disguise yourself. It can help you, or mobility. There's a ton of different ways that can help you that are very operative-esque.
Sure.
Especially since you don't have the highest amount of stamina.
And also
being able to be like, oh crap. I think second pick would be engineering.
Just for the flavor.
Yeah.
Like,
next we're gonna go over Death Touch. Probably the metalist, most themed character background ever. You're gonna get a +1 to con because, well, you were touched by death.
Your level 1 theme knowledge is going to allow you to use perception instead of mysticism to recall knowledge about the undead and like negative energy things, which is pretty cool. I think that's, for some, I guess, classes, that's pretty cool.
Perception's always a good thing to put points
100%.
into, and so now it's got an additional reason why you should be putting points into it. The difference between mysticism and like using perception is like the mysticism is like, well, from my knowledge and my my understanding of the world, that this is what undead are, and then the death person is like, I've seen it.
It's right there. I see it right there.
It's like the difference between like knowledge and experience.
Yeah. But I think it does kind of make it slightly less useful on classes that will probably have mysticism. anyways.
Yeah. Especially at level 1, it's definitely weeding out some of the classes because you're just like, well, this is like
my mysticism's going to objectively be higher than my perception.
Yeah.
So what's going on here?
Yeah, but the question is yes, it sucks at level 1 for you, but does it make up for you later on?
It does. It really does. Perception's also going to be a class skill for you. If perception's already a class skill, you get a +1 bonus to perception.
Again, just really pushing that perception.
Perception is good. I think I would take this just for the +1 to perception at this point.
At level 6, you're going to get Dread Vitality, where you're going to get a +1 bonus to saving throws against the following. Disease, exhaustion, fatigue, mind-affecting effects. God, I hate that one. Paralysis, poison, sleep effects, and stunning.
That's a lot of things. +1 bonus, not terribly impressive, but the versatility there.
Oh, hey, you get a +1 bonus to saving throws against this giant. Like, based off of the game that you're playing, you know what? No, I don't think it's based off the game you're playing. There's so much versatility
There's a lot of stuff
to this
here,
list.
yeah.
Like those
Paralysis is strong. Fatigue is really strong.
fatigue's-
Mind-affecting effects is a huge swath of like commonly used things. Disease, not that common, but useful. Exhaustion, it depends on whether or not you play with the same kind of travel rules that like we don't play with. And being stunned, that's a pretty strong thing. Like if an enemy is stunning you, they are pretty beefy, but very useful in the situation. Like that's going to be a clutch thing.
And again, +1, 99% of the time isn't going to make or break it.
Yeah.
But when it does.
But when it does, it feels great.
Yeah. So I think that's really strong. So far, I gotta be honest, pretty strong.
Yeah, it gets stronger, dude. At 12th level, you get Injured to the Grave. This is probably the least impressive one so far, but here it is. You gain cold resistance equal to your level, so you've gained 12 cold resistance at this level. If you already have cold resistance greater than 12 from some other source,
okay,
you increase that cold resistance by half your level instead. I like that they added like a balanced method by which you can stack it with something else. Just like cold resistance flat is a little bit niche-y. First of all, I don't get to choose when this is useful. The GM gets to choose when this is useful, and that's kind of like meh.
It's a lot for one energy. I think this is kind of like the swap off for the Dread Vitality, which is like, here's a small bonus for a ton of different things, and then here's a large bonus for this very specific thing. Yeah, I think between the two it's balanced. I don't think it's the strong at the 12th level, but it's kind of a nice balance.
Here comes the solid 18th level, dude.
All right, at level 18 you're going to get Life Eater. It's strongest so far?
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, for the first time each day, a creature with an intelligence of 3 or greater dies within 10 feet of you. You gain a resolve point. You don't have to be the one that kills it.
Right, it's just the death. But, and this is where I think it's balanced, it is the first time each day.
Yes.
Bottom line. Like there's no other, like, you don't get to choose when it happens. You don't get to wait until the end of the day. If it happens first thing in the day, and here's the part that I'm confused about, and you have full resolve points, did you waste it?
That's a good question.
Because I'd say yes. I'd say you did waste it.
You know what that means, right?
So,
just always start the day by using a resolve
point. Yeah, honestly, yes. The first opportunity you have to use a resolve point before the first death, use it, or stay 10 feet away until you use one, or further than 10 feet away until you use one. On top of that, because I think there is the opportunity to waste this feature, there is another feature.
Yes, you are unconscious and someone dies adjacent to you.
Within a 5-foot radius.
Yeah, exactly. You can spend a number of resolve points to become stable, basically.
Right.
And then if you are stable, you can spend 1 resolve point to stay in the fight.
The good thing about this is you're doing it as a reaction.
Yes.
So you're gonna re-enter initiative, and then you can take your turn when it comes to your turn, which is cool.
There is no limitation to this.
I haven't, does it say that there's a limitation to it?
Well, it's additionally any time you are unconscious. So it's just, as long as you're unconscious, that's the limitation.
You can do this. Well, technically, it also has to not be your turn.
Yeah, if someone's dying on your turn.
That you'd be doing, if you're unconscious and people are dying on your turn, you're doing great work.
Yeah, just stay there. You're doing a good job.
Doing what you're doing. This is really strong.
Yeah.
I think this whole theme, super strong. It has some versatility built into it in like increasing all those saving throws. It has some really strong specific things that you can make use of potentially. And this level 18 is just top tier.
For a small set of classes, though.
Sure.
I think this is definitely strong for a soldier. And I think once the Vanguard comes out, I think this will be mega strong for the Vanguard.
Up close, definitely, for sure, going to be very strong for melee fighters because specifically of the level 8.
If there's a situation where you get knocked unconscious, how important is this?
Incredibly.
This is mega important for that person that is up there.
Level 18, if your tank dies, the rest of the group behind you, I mean, they obviously haven't bursted hard enough so far. They need to do something. They don't have the tank to protect them. If you can get back up using this feature and like make it as though you had never fallen in the first place, solid.
GM-wise, this is cinematic as all hell. He lifts up his arm, placing his sword into the ground, and steps up, and you're just like, oh, snaps, he's still alive. Why don't you let us know down in the comments what you think of these two? Do you have a preferred theme out of these two? While you're down there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and then hit the bell icon so you can get notifications for all of our future content. My name's Indigo, and you can reach me on Twitter at IndigoQT.
And I'm Judgmental. You can get me on Twitter at QueueTimes, or you can talk to both of us at all of these social media things down here. If I did my job right, there's a Patreon button somewhere. Maybe
I think Facebook's over there?
Probably over there.
Yeah.
Bye.